A-A-A-O. It is Callie with a K, that diagnosed mom, not to be confused with the diagnosed mom, as I am sure I'm not the only one. But I shat you not, if you thought we were getting into the nitty-gritty gossipy tea, you thought wrong. We are, in fact, going to talk about shit. Literal shit poop. Let's talk about shit, baby. Let's talk about it with me. Let's talk about all the bad things that it can be in public. Let's talk about shit. All right. Oh my goodness. I've had coffee. I had a little bit of yogurt. I was like, I've only just started eating yogurt yesterday. It is January 13th. This will be released on Monday, January 15th. I'm going to wait to try to do 2 episodes a week because until my health stuff gets figured out, I'm not able to commit to things properly. So I'm doing every Monday. But I apologize. I definitely used some clickbait. Like, title is just going to be let's talk about shit. Probably came in thinking who knows what. But if you know me, you probably also clicked on it knowing that I was going to talk about literal shit. Like all things poop, sharding, schnarding, 2 different things. Diarrhea, bringing extra undies and pants to places like work, constipation, enemas, colonoscopies, squeezing the butt cheeks and running to a bathroom. Yeah. And then you got the good old doctor's office, thumb up the butt, and not sure how to feel about it. So obviously, like all my other ones, this is based on my experience and my experience alone. Oh, that's a lie. I do have some stories regarding family members and people in my life who have gone through some things because, let's face it, my shit problems are genetic. Like, my poor whole family, both sides, it's just, yeah, we got problems. Got 99 problems, and shit is definitely one. It's probably like 90 of those 99. So, yeah, that's what this episode's gonna be about. Recap, was supposed to go to the doctor yesterday, Friday. I was dumb, and so this is how I explained it to my mother-in-law. First off, a word that's in my vocabulary that I could be using very often, Bexing. What this refers to is butthole explosion. I don't simply go poop. I'll probably have to pause this actually to go Bex. But it's not just simple diarrhea. No. It's like, boom, out of the butthole. So, Bexing is a great way for me to tell anyone I'm with in public if I need to run to the bathroom. Because that is like, that's not pooping, that's Bexing. Like, totally different. Pooping is, I got like 5 to 10 minutes to get to a bathroom. I can do it. Bexing? Better run now or I'm about to be dripping brown. Ugh, sorry. Gross episode if you don't like talking about digesting and pooping and tummy. But what I was saying is I was dumb and I couldn't go to the doctor because basically all through December Iowa was constipated, and then January hits and it's Bexing out snow, and it's been cold and ridiculous and a bunch of snow all within like a week. So Friday was the worst and my doctor's office closed. But I ended up getting a call from them. Gonna do some labs. They're actually gonna do a CT scan to make sure that if it's like stress and anxiety and depression related, to get that figured out, which is like kind of annoying because my last flare-up I've talked about before was around my birthday last year. So really around the same time, except this time it happened before my birthday, when last year's happened after my birthday. But that one was stress-induced. There was so much going on in my life that it was just, in our lives, not even my life, but there was just so many responsibilities and like pressures that I had on myself for my family. This time, everything was going okay. Like, yeah, it was pre-holiday season, but I wasn't really stressed out about it. Like I talked about in my New Year episode, you know, it just kind of came and went holiday-wise. But I was going to get a job. I was making moves. I got a job. Things were going okay with kiddos. Like, everything was going okay. And right now, the only stress in my life is the physical things that I'm going through with my tummy. So I'm going to have to like reiterate that to my doctor, because I don't want her thinking, like, even if they do see something that's stress induced and everything, like, there's a reason, like, I can't do things. Today's like one of the best days I've had in months, and I'm so grateful for it. I also had like an epiphany moment last night of just like, okay, these are my problems. Like, I had a huge realization with my husband, and it was like the best feeling to acknowledge it, and then to be able to understand it, and to then sit there and be like, okay, I want to fix this. Now that I know what it is, I know what to do, I can be better, I can do better. So you are getting a whole new Callie. And Callie Hyper, always here to stay. Hopefully here to definitely stay. So yeah, that is the status. Gonna get some labs done, gonna get some tests done, hopefully next week. My goal is to be able to like start the new job that I got, but need to finish training, not in January probably, but February. That's kind of my goal. And yeah, we'll see where we get there. Might have to get a psychiatrist or psychologist instead of just my therapist, which is stinks because I don't want to start all over, but also like my primary is the one prescribing me medication right now. So if there is a change that needs to happen, it's probably a good thing to do with someone new, which sucks because I love my therapist. I've had her for like 5 years, but we'll see. Yeah. So that's kind of what this episode's going to be about, and there's a lot of rambling, and I would apologize in advance, but also, you clicked on it, you chose this, I am in your ear holes, and I am here to stay and slay. But, starting off with some of the things I mentioned, sharting and snarting. Oh, I can't. Okay, so sharting is shitting while farting, obviously. Nice little spray. Snarting is sneezing, farting, and shitting. So, like, I put that one in there because one time after, like, I medically withdrew from college and I was at home, I got the cold really bad and, like, the stomach flu, and I sneezed, and I sharted when I sneezed. So, snarted, it sounds like a donkey term, but, yeah, no, I did that. Also, I'm definitely gonna have to, like, pause this because I know I'm gonna be pooping here in, like, a hot second. And it may not even be pooping. I think this might be bexing. This might be butt clenching, and I'm at home. Oh, my gosh. I'll be right back. 4 days later. Ew, ew, ew. I am redoing part of the entry because, yeah, it is no longer the 13th. It is now the 17th. It is not Monday. It is Wednesday. So yeah, that committing thing I told you about definitely happened. I was bexing, and then there was birthday things. You're listening to a freshly brand new 26-year-old. My croissant. Mwah. Chef's kiss, all of it. I did have a very good birthday. I have tests. The test got scheduled for next week for doctor things. But yeah, getting back into things. That was a butt clenching run to the bathroom moment. And then also, I'm going to be quite frank, I had come back and recorded almost 20 minutes, and then my computer just randomly shut down and stopped without saving it. So your girl's got to figure that out. We'll see what happens. You know, you never know. I'm going to have to, like, save this one too, so hopefully you'll hear this one. But going off of that, I wrote down a bunch of notes trying to remember the things that I had talked about in the 20 minutes, right? And so one of the things I wrote down was, like, as soon as I came back, every time I'm, like, on the toilet, because I have to spend quite a bit of time there sometimes, I read books. Like, that's what I do. I don't play on my phone. I read books. And my preferred book genre is smut. I love me some smut. I'm all about the smut. Give it to me. I would rather, like, picture it myself than watch anything. Like, I'm all about it. And it's just, they romanticize it so much. And, like, I used to be such a hopeless romantic, but now I'm just, like, a hopeless romantic for the people in the books. and like, oh, it just speaks to my soul. I just love it so much, and like it's so passionate, and I'm just like clapping to all of those people because it's great. It's real great. And props to like writers who write smut, because it's like encouraged and inspired me to write books that I like. If I wanted to separate a different way of a book, oh my gosh, I can't speak. Okay, so if I read a book and like I wanted something different to happen, that's just like an idea in my bank, right? I'm like, okay, let's think about that. Let's think about how I wanted that to turn out and how I can make it my own. So yes, been writing. I had told you, I think, about the writing submissions I submitted. Got both the stuff back for those. It wasn't personalized feedback, which was kind of like I thought it was going to be, like feedback specifically on what I submitted. They just kind of had what they looked for and then what they graded it in different categories. It was nothing specific to like my story, but that's okay. I think I'm gonna like rewrite it, because the first initial one was a complete like journal instead of like a story. So I know it can be better, but yes, smut every time I'm on the toilet, and it's just like a way to pass the time. But also I'm gonna sneeze and I'm gonna apologize in advance. Oh, it didn't happen. It just helps time go by, like I said. So there you go. Yeah, so this this episode, I remember I'm so upset that 20 minutes like didn't get saved, because it was some good shit. Like, I definitely remember getting into a bunch of things, and I'm sure once I get going, it'll be fine, but it's a little weird for me right now. One of the things I definitely want to talk about is an on-the-go Bex bag. Okay, if anybody has any sort of, like, what do I want to say? Where you got to run to the bathroom at any given time. Doesn't matter if you got to poop, pee, whatever. You should have an on-the-go Bex bag. What will be in that bag will be extra pants, extra underwear, some baby wipes, some baby powder. Definitely gonna maybe want a plastic bag in that bag, because you're gonna, if you soil your pants, you're gonna want to put them in something instead of just placing them in, in a bag, touching everything else. And then if you want to get like real in depth, well, also bring some pads for your like underwear liners just in case. But you can bring like, what are they called? Not an enema, because like don't do that in public. Bathrooms are gross. But the suppository, yes. If you really need to bring a suppository, you can do that in public. It won't be ideal, but if you're in pain, you gotta get it out. You gotta get it out. And then laxatives, like. It's just, you need to have a prepared bag. You just need to. Sorry, that was kind of gross. But going off enemas, I have had multiple throughout my life, whether they were given by doctors or actually, luckily, I married someone who helps people every day do everyday functions, and so he had no problem giving me an at-home enema. He didn't make me feel uncomfortable. He didn't make me feel awkward. He didn't make me feel gross. And he's had to do it a few times. So super grateful for that. Find someone that you trust with your booty. And oops. But yeah, it's been a few times. I have to like lay on the floor on my side and put my knees to my chest. And then sometimes I can't even like, it feels so bizarre. Like it feels like water's just getting put like up your intestines. Like you feel it getting cold and being cold, and then you're supposed to like hold it for as long as you can and then go to the toilet, and it's supposed to like really empty you out. But sometimes, it just hurts. I've really only had to do it at home when I've been in like constant pain, and that's really like the only way to fix it is because I was constipated. I've had it done before colonoscopies, because the stuff they give you, my lord. Some people, props to you for being able to drink it, but next time I'm definitely going to tell them, listen, like, I didn't know I could tell you I throw this up every time I drink it, and you could just give me a pill, because that's exactly what happens. I'm like on the toilet with a bowl, because it's not good. It's just not tasty. Blah. And I've mixed it with so many things. Ugh. It's ruined so many things that I've mixed it with, but yeah, not fun. So there's been some times where I haven't been completely empty, and like I remember my mom and I just find humor in like everything. So I just remember having to get an enema when I was still going to Iowa City Hospital, and it was before a colonoscopy, and they were like, okay, we need to, like, you still need to get cleaned out a little bit. And so I was laying on my side, and they gave me the enema, and I had to lay there for a little bit, and mom was trying to keep me like distracted, and then I was like, oh, mom, I gotta go. And she was like helping me up, and I was like waddling like a penguin, like picking my feet up a lot to go to the bathroom, and we both just like cackling and giggling. Yeah, there's my mom and I and the topic of shit are very much we have to be funny with it, because it's a huge part of our lives. But I've actually had at least like 10 there it was, bless me. My grandma says that and it cracks me up, so now I say it. But I don't know, I've had at least 10 colonoscopies, and I'm 26. Most people don't get them until like in their 20s. But I had my first one when I was like 16. Potentially even before then, because I was having stomach problems before then. But I know I had like an endoscopy when I was 9. I don't remember when I had my first colonoscopy. But yeah, so they've just been like something that I know I'm going to have to get like every year even. So I'm not really bothered by it anymore. Like, it's really not that bad. And then I used to be like shy about it. So like when I was talking about the thumb up the butt thing with doctors, when I was like, I don't know, 16, 17, and I was at the Iowa Children's Hospital, oh my gosh, I can't think, up in Iowa City, there we go. My doctor had like a resident with her who was a male, and for my teenage brain at the time, was not comfortable with this dude. Sorry, dude, I don't think you missed much by my doctor lady putting a thumb up my butt, but I know that you're just there to learn. I have nothing against you. It was just something weird for me at the time, and I did not want him to see it. And, you know, my doctor asked me, like, are you okay with him being here? And I was like, no. Like, can he not watch you put a thumb up my butt to see what's wrong with my butthole, please? And the only thing, and then she just closed the curtain around us. So he was still in the room, and like, I felt bad, but I also was like, I would feel so uncomfortable. Now, you know, 10 years later, I've given birth to 2 kiddos. I've had people see the innards and outards of my stomach and my vag and booty, and yeah, I really don't care anymore. I'm just kind of like, everybody's seeing it now. I don't really care. Male, female, you're in this profession. You obviously see a lot of shit. And I'm sure they've seen some pretty bad buttholes and things. So, you know, I'm just another one in the line. Oh, it's okay. But my most recent one was last year. Almost like, so in February, it'll be last year, because it was with that flare-up around my birthday. And I remember coming out of it, and I'm a loopy person regardless, so as soon as you get, like, medication in me, or, like, I wake up from anesthesia, I'm a wild chick. I remember getting out of it, though, and, you know, because I suck at drinking the stuff to clean you out, my doctor was like, so we still found some fecal matter in your digestive system, and me being loopy was like, doctor, you trying to tell me I'm full of shit? And my doctor, ooh, I love her so much. She was like, well, we didn't need to do a colonoscopy to figure that out. And I was just, oh, I lost it. I lost it. Like, quote of the week, put that on a t-shirt, right? Are you saying I'm full of shit? We didn't need a colonoscopy to figure that out. It was great. Loved it a lot. So it was, you know, there's still fun with it, I suppose, but the procedures themselves are just, it's the before part that I'm not a fan of. The after part is just any other thing. Not eating, I don't eat off and on now. Like, there's some days where I barely eat, and then some days I eat one thing, and so, you know, right now it wouldn't be too much of a thing. But I'm really trying to really embrace everything instead of being embarrassed by everything. That took a while, because, sorry, I'm also drinking a Blue Mountain Dew. Voltage! You didn't see me, but I gave, like, the rock on. I'm still trying to show you, like, at the computer, and you can't even see me, but where you have, like, your pointer finger and your pinky finger, and you just, like, rock on and stick your tongue out. That's exactly what I did when I went, and I again did it, and you can't see me. That's so sad. Okay. This is why I made a TikTok. I posted the first thing yesterday about growing a pussy instead of a pair of balls. It got like 240 views, and then it just like stopped getting views, and I was like, oh, that's okay. I can live with that. 240. That's a lot. That's a lot for me. Not for TikTok, but anyway, yes, embracing instead of being embarrassed. When I get like the squeeze the butt cheeks and like running, now it's just more of a humor thing. Like, I've decided to use it more, like, I'm trying to be more honest about it. So, like, I was a server for, you know, a couple of years. I made sure my bosses know, I made sure everybody knew, but I would make it, like, about humor, like, oh, I'm gonna shit my pants, oh, I gotta go Bex, or, oh, I gotta run. And, you know, they were supportive and, like, watched over my tables if I really needed to. And then I had a flare-up at work twice. I remember my boss, it was, like, when I first started working there, and I hadn't gotten to know my bosses very well. I was in a ball underneath the stairs at the restaurant. And I just remember my boss coming over, and she was like, Callie, are you having a moment? Are you having a moment, kid? Callie, do you need a moment? Are you having a moment? And I think she just, like, had no idea what to do with me, because I was just in a ball on the dirty concrete floor crying. Trav came and, like, picked me up, and he brought me home. But, oh my God, I just remember her looking at me. Are you having a moment? Are you having a moment? You're having a moment, Callie? And I'm just, like, crying, like, yeah, I can't move. My butt hurts. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Yes, I'm having a moment. God, what do you want from me? And so they called Trav, though. Super nice about it and everything and understanding, but I think they had no idea what to do. So that's okay. But yeah, I've definitely had to pack extra pants and underwear for work. Basically, as soon as I got pregnant with our son. He was born in 2022, and so in 2021, while I was pregnant, I still worked, and I knew that if I giggled too much with being pregnant, I could pee my pants, and so that was initially the reason why I started packing, like, pants and underwear. And then there was one time where I did actually shart, and I was like, oh no. And so that's, like, no matter where I go next, like, that's literally what I'm gonna always have, because you just never know, you know. That's the thing with having GI problems, and it's just so unpredictable. Like, you can't prepare for it. The only thing you can do is, like, take pain meds in advance. Like, I have one called hyoscyamine that helps with, like, cramping and stuff, and I take that one if there's even an inkling of a thought that I could be affected when I have other things to do. But sometimes, like, what I've been going through lately, it hasn't been cramping. It was, like, my tummy was doing the tightening thing, was the ulcers, gave me a med for that. But then now it's just, like, for whatever reason, anything moving through my intestines is causing pain, but not cramping. It's just, like, a sharp stabbing pain depending on where it's at. So that I can really only do Tylenol, and that doesn't always help that much. So I just have to, you know, this is why sometimes I don't eat, because it's just easier to not be in pain than to eat and know the consequence of it. So, you know, we're getting there. And like I said, I have appointments next week. And I actually did reach out to Mayo, and I never finished, like, the going through to make appointments or anything, but I keep getting texts and emails now, and so I need to talk to Travis, see what we should do. I don't even know, but yeah. So that's kind of like the squeeze the butt cheeks and run. I have definitely had to stop on the side of the road multiple times in my life to do multiple things, whether it's pee, puke, or shat. And it's gross, but it's hilarious. And if I'm with my mom, we can't stop giggling. And then, like, trying to maneuver and, like, You have no idea how many times I have driven on like an interstate or a highway with like someone else driving and have looked in ditches to make sure I had a spot where I could hide if I needed to squat. This is my life. We're going on a trip 4 hours away, and I'm watching the ditches if I feel any sort of gurgling or anything, if we're not close to a bathroom, of places I might have to like stop and just squat. Squat and go, squat and go. That squatty potty, we need a travel one. Oh, but they do make like toilet seats that hook onto your hatch now. And I think those are really cool. And then I think they have some that go on a 5-gallon bucket. I should really look into that. But the problem with that is if I have to go on the side of the road, there's no, like, I'm going to need a tent, a pop-up tent to do that as well. That should be a new invention. Like a pop-up porta potty on the back of your vehicle. You got the toilet that hooks to the hatch. You got the 5-gallon bucket with a bag in it. And then you just need like a tent type surrounding that pops up super easily. I want that. And if you wanted to build it, just message me. And I'll just, you don't need my permission, but I just TM. I gotta blow my nose. Hold on. I'll definitely delete that out. Yeah, so if you want to do that with me, I have ideas. I have brainwaves that work occasionally, but sometimes they're just a little crazy. Yeah, so, let's see, I have like a list that we should talk about. Oh, yes. Okay, yes. So I remember first getting diagnosed and going into the children's hospital that's in Des Moines, called Blank Children's Hospital, and I remember seeing like the first specialist, and it was me, my mom, and both my dads, and I got bio dad, stepdad, mama. And there was a poop chart at the back of the door. And I remember all of us being so like, this was like the first time we had ever seen an office that was specialized in poop, basically. And so my dads are always hilarious when they're together, and they just immature, funny, like, oh my god, there's different kinds of poop. But there's like 7 kinds of poop. And it blows my mind that like you're supposed to poop 3 times a day and they're supposed to be solid. I'm like, hi. Sometimes, like the longest I went without pooping one time was like 5 days. Part of that was like I wasn't able to eat, but like I don't know, like that doesn't happen for me. Like I have like one kind, and it's usually just Bexing. I rarely have just like no wipe and go anymore. Like obviously I wipe every time, but you know those poops that you have where it's just like a clean sweep and it cleans you out great, and you don't like, you wipe and there's nothing left because you're done. You're like, wash my hands and out of it. Yeah, no, that doesn't happen for me. This is like I asked for a bidet for Christmas a couple years ago, and I really need to figure out how to hook it up, because that would save me so much paper, and my butthole wouldn't hurt so much from like wiping so many times. Sometimes it bleeds, right? Because you wipe it raw, basically. And that's why like people never understand why I choose to sit on a toilet for sometimes 1 to 2 hours, just trying to keep going consistently. And it's because I don't want to have to wipe, get back up, and travel back and forth to the bathroom and then go through the whole process of going, wiping. It hurts. It fucking hurts, man. So yeah, that's just no. But yeah, poop scale 1 to 7. Never have a 1 really. It's constipated hard poop. It's like rabbit turds, I think. Mine are definitely usually between like 5 and 7, if I have to say. Liquidy, very barely formed, little bit mucusy, which I guess is kind of normal for like when you have, it's just part of the drainage that comes out of when you have digestive problems. Good lord, fissure, is that what it's called? I don't know, but yeah, so it's whatever. Still, yeah, so if you have 3 poops a day, like, how does that work for you? Is that good for you? Like, I'm so curious. Like, I really rarely go once a day, and if I go more than once a day, it's because it's like the butt squeezing, running, burning, got poop. So yeah, that just doesn't happen for me. But I remember in high school when I would get the cramps that weren't telling me like I had to go, but that it was hurting so bad that I knew I needed to get it out. But those are the times when I would sit on the toilet for like 1 to 2 hours, because the pain honestly is excruciating. Like, I've had some of it happened a couple times the past few years, not near as often, but I remember in high school when it would happen, I was like embarrassed and like no one knew, but I would tense up so much trying to let it like pass, because it would be really bad as whatever was moving through that part of my digestive system that was irritated and inflamed and stuff. And so I would tense up so tight, and I remember getting like beet red because I would hold my breath through the pain and just start sweating, and it hurt so much. And I just, gosh, like, that was so normal for me back then. Like, it's so weird what my normal was, because I didn't want people to know I was in pain. I wanted to keep doing everything I was doing, and it was just, I didn't want anything to stop me. And like, I didn't let anything stop me, but I have to wonder if I was more honest about like things that I was experiencing, because I'm really bad at like telling doctors what's wrong with me. Like, I'll reach out and try to get my life figured out and back to normal, but as soon as I get in the doctor's office, like, everything that's been happening is just like, I don't know if you've seen Jeff Dunham, but if you haven't, you're not going to understand what I'm about to tell you. But he has he's a ventriloquist, and one of his I don't know, partner puppet, I don't know, his name Peanut, and he does this thing where he goes over his head with his hand and he goes, Vroom. That's how I feel when I go in the doctor's. Like, everything is just Vroom. Like, goes over my head. I have no idea why I'm there. They want answers from me. I can't give them to them. So yeah, my husband made a list. That's where we're at. But I do wonder if I was a little more honest about the pain I was going through in high school, maybe I'd have a better setup for it later in my 20s. But the doctor I was with after my kid doctor, because we couldn't keep traveling like 2 to 3 hours every time I needed an infusion or doctor's appointment, like, it was just very unrealistic. So we switched to one that was closer. And I often felt belittled or like I was crazy when I was telling him my problems, because he was like, if I had problems, he would go and do like a colonoscopy, and like, he would be like, I can't see anything, like, there's nothing wrong, you just need to try different foods and like do a bland diet, and like, that's not helpful at all. So I ended up switching after like 1 or 2 years with seeing him. Just made me feel kind of crazy for the things I was feeling and like how my body was doing, and I was just like, I can't do anything, like, what do you want from me? So now we're at like a different, very much like digestive disease center, and my new doctor cares a lot about both physical and my mental health, so that's been really good. The only thing that kind of sucks about that is if this is what's been going on, if they think it's just mental, which we're all pretty sure it's not. I'm not sure if they'll continue looking for physical things, so we'll just see. We're getting there though. Yeah, it's all just kind of crazy. Things are crazy. Freaking shit is crazy. Like, literally and metaphorically. Like, shit is wild. It's definitely something that's in my family, like, generations. You know, I think everyone in my family's got digestive problems, and it sucks, but shit is shit. And if you're going through any of these problems, like, there are things you can do. There are definitely things you can do. Laying on your left side helps your digestive system better. And it's what I do usually if I'm like waiting to need to go to the bathroom. That sounds kind of funny, but yeah, I'm waiting to need to go to the bathroom. It just helps things process better. I have a mixed feeling with like heating and cold, because if you heat, you don't want to heat inflammation and swelling. But when you're having like the tummy cramps and stuff, sometimes that helps. Sometimes, like, we always had rice bags growing up, which is just literally like a bag of rice that you could put in the freezer or microwave to get either cold or hot. And I usually use those a lot on my tummy, the cold ones. But Squatty potty, great invention, still helps a lot. I still end up sitting on the toilet long enough where my legs and my feet grow numb. So that's the weirdest freaking feeling ever. It always makes me giggle. Because like, when like something hurts or like feels so weird that you laugh, that's like what my brain does. But if you get like the really bad cramping, talk to your doctor about some like cramping meds. I do have also meds from like a long time ago, it's not great. I need to like probably not. I don't take them ever, but they're like anti-diarrhea. Is that a thing? Anti-diarrhea. No, they help. They like, I don't know how it works, if it just constipates you or what, but it stops you from having diarrhea basically. And then I have the Linzess that I take daily that like basically makes me have diarrhea because it helps move things through my body. Definitely get with your doctor though, and if your doctor's not like doing anything and just kind of telling you to try different diets, like yes, diets might help, but your body. If you've been trying different food for a long time, definitely explore other options. And then I actually just looked up some places for nutritional therapy around me. I sent a message for that, so hopefully I'll hear back from them. But there's a lot of things you can do. And if you don't really have anyone to talk to about it because you're embarrassed or you don't, like, for me, I was just like, oh, there's no way, like, I'm probably just, this pain it isn't probably even that bad and I'm just over-exaggerating. Like, no, there's people that over-exaggerate, and then there's people that suffer in silence, and then there's people that suffer but ask for help. And I often felt like all three, when in reality it was just like I just had to tell people and help people understand what I was going through, and then they would help me. Like, granted, in high school it's different. You are with a bunch of friends, and like, teenagers are mean. I mean, everybody's mean, but like, teenagers are mean. And then middle schoolers are mean. Like, everybody. School is a different experience for everyone, but if you find someone that has your back and has maybe even seen you been in pain, like, you need to find someone to talk to. It will help a lot, and there are things you can do. And if you're not a huge fan of medicine, like, I hate that I take so many meds. Fortunately, I'm in a position in my life where it's not just me anymore. Like, I have a family that relies on me, so like I have to do what I need to do to make sure I'm okay, and that does take doing the best thing for me at a different priority, even if it's medication. So yeah, there's definitely seek out some help. Like, this is not a normal way to live. Like, I know that like what I've been going through the past couple months, what I've been going through my whole life is not a normal like, I don't know how to explain, like a normal pattern for digestive system. But like, I've always told people, like, I'd much rather be vexing and not in pain than experience the pain. So it's just like, for me, that's what it came down to. And my family is like, well, you shouldn't have to pick one or the other. And I'm like, I get that, but like, I do have to, because I don't have the time, resources, money. Like, I don't have any of that to figure out how to make that not be a thing. So yeah, this is the shit I'm living in, man. But I think it's gonna get better. Like I said, next week I have tests. I'll keep y'all in the loop. I am not going to apologize that this is late, but also I'm so sorry it's late, but shit actually got in the way. Yeah, but I appreciate you all listening and having me in your ear holes. This one was kind of wild and crazy. Share it with people that might need to hear, like, it's okay to have shitty shit. And it's okay to, like, I wish it was talked about more just so people felt more comfortable. Like, that is a way of life. Pooping is a way of life. And not in the, like, that makes it sound like it's like a culture or something, but that's not what I mean. I just mean that we all do it and it all happens. And like, people who, I remember like growing up, people were like, oh, girls fart. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I used to be embarrassed to do that. But now I'm like, if I'm in a bathroom, I don't remember if I dreamed about saying this in an episode or if I did say this in an episode, but I'm going to say it again. But if I'm in a bathroom and you hear a big old Bex come out of me, because this sounds like a power washer sometimes, right? And and there's other people in there, I am long gone past the point of embarrassment. And I'm just like, this is real. This is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now, aka the bathroom, because I was going to shit my pants. So, there is that. Yeah, it all happens. We all do it. We all have tummy issues. Like, we can talk about throwing up all day, but as soon as you bring poop, and I think it's just because it smells bad and it comes out of our butt and it just seems gross. And like when we see other animals do it, it's just like, it just happens and it's normal. Especially once you have kids, you're not going to be afraid to talk about poop because good Lord, it's worse than my Bexing, let me tell you. But no, I appreciate you all listening. And before I forget, I got some feedback from my postpartum one, and brown rice is actually worse for you. Fun fact. And doctors should be like doing depression screenings every time they see you after giving birth. So for all I know, that happened and I don't remember it, or it just didn't happen. But yeah, it was good, insightful information. I think there was one other thing, but I don't remember. So I appreciate all your ear holes plugging into me. Oh, that sounds weird. But yeah, let's talk about shit, baby. That's it for me. Have a great rest of your week. And now I'm gonna post this so my mom can listen to it and have a laugh. I love you all. Thank you very much. Mwah, mwah.